Just about 2 weeks ago, I was in the beautiful city of Nairobi, Kenya, and we're having the 7 Universal Currency Global Tour. And whilst I was doing my presentation, I actually took time off to ask a question. How many of you have made your first $1,000? People raised their hand. I was like, how many of you actually want to be rich? People raised their hand. How many of you are ready to pay the price to be rich? People still raised their hand. And then I interacted with the audience, and then I started asking a couple of people. I brought in some very beautiful instances and case studies just to ask people the extent to which they are willing and ready to pay their price. And it leads me to talking to you guys about something today known as rich people are committed to wanting to be rich. Poor people just want to be rich. Rich people, they are committed to being rich. Poor people want to be rich. They are not the same. Rich people are committed to being rich. Poor people, they just want to be rich. And this is something that is super, super, super important that you need to understand when it comes to the Millionaire Mind Mastery series. Welcome to episode 3 of the Millionaire Mind Mastery series. Rich people are committed to being rich. Poor people just want to be rich. Now, notice that a lot of people wake up and then their desires, they want things. And I have paid close attention. Whenever people want things, the desire, the habitual desire of wanting things and not having them leads you to actually being in a state where you still want more. So if you want something and you are not getting it, your wanting of it just keeps getting long, or the longing desire for that thing just keeps growing and it keeps growing and it keeps growing. And most of the times, a lot of people who want things are not ready to pay the price to become the things that they want. And if you actually doubt what I'm saying, just take a closer look around you and then do a quick study. Look out for the number of friends who have said to you that they want to be rich and how many of them are rich today. Or check out the number of people globally who actually want to be rich, and let's check those who are actually rich. And it leads me to explaining something very important to you guys that you need to settle with you. There are 3 levels of wanting. The first level of wanting is I want to be rich. A lot of people, in thinking that they want to be rich, their first realm of wanting is I want to be rich. Now, when you want to be rich, it's just a desire. So for lots of you, you want to be rich. A lot of you listening to me today, watching this content now, you genuinely want to be rich. I kid you not. I'm not sure there's anybody who is listening to me that wants to be poor. You genuinely want to be rich. But do you know what happens to a lot of you? When you think of wanting to be rich, it just hangs in there. That's it. Nothing else happens. Nothing else changes around you. You just want to be rich, and then you are just there. You do not do the requisite things, the things that you need to do to become rich. And that is where the problem starts. The fact that you have a desire does not mean that your desire is going to manifest. The fact that you have a dream does not mean that your dream will manifest. The dream is free. The hustle is sold separately. The dream is free, but the hustle, the effort, the dedication, the commitment, that is also sold separately. So it's okay to dream, it's okay to want to be rich, but are you ready to pay the price? So for some of you, you are just in the first realm of wanting, which is actually, I want to be rich. Then the next realm of wanting is I choose to be rich. So when we begin to look at choosing to be rich, at this point, you are looking at the details of what it will take you to be rich. So if you understand that MBA has been teaching, and MBA has been teaching that to become wealthy, you must become. So you are now understanding that, okay, you want to do this, but this thing that you want to do, you must become it. So let's say you want to do real estate, then you know that you must become what you want to do, which means that you need to pay attention to knowledge. If knowledge is what is responsible for dominion in this life, then you need to decide and choose to commit to knowledge. And so maybe if you want to do real estate, the first place you want to start from is real estate financing. Then you probably find out that Harvard is offering a course in real estate financing. Maybe University of Pennsylvania is offering a course in real estate financing, and it's probably going to cost you maybe $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Are you ready to pay that amount of money. So when you enter the realm where I choose to be rich, you move from I want to be rich to a place where you step higher. I choose to be rich. So I choose to be rich in this particular realm of thinking and wanting. What you are actually doing is you begin to go into the nitty-gritties. So let's say you want to be a public speaker like Moses Biata, you want to be a public speaker like Futurist Kwame Opoku, you want to be a public speaker like Vusi Thembikwa, you want to be a public speaker like Israel Robert Burali. Then you also get to know that, okay, I want to be it. But then now it comes to the place where now you choose to be it. So choosing to be it will then make you know that, okay, if I want to be a public speaker, I need to find a domain, a knowledge niche, and then master it. If I want to be a public speaker, I need to make sure that I'm paying attention to the way in which I communicate my thoughts, the way in which I speak, my eloquence, my elocution, all of those things. I need to start paying attention to it. I need to have a delivery style. I need to understand storytelling. I need to understand brand positioning, marketing, targeting, segmentation. At that point in time, everything you are doing in that place is that you are choosing to be rich, or you are choosing to be a public speaker. So you are finding out the details, but that is not enough. A lot of you, when you find out the details about something, you end there. So I've had lots of you come to me, MB, I want to be rich, I want to be rich. Can you please teach me the crypto thing? What will it take? And then I tell you, okay, I have a crypto course. My crypto course is $200. If you pay that $200, we're going to give you access to the knowledge on crypto that is already pre-recorded, and we're going to give you about 10 to 20 coins that you can invest in. And then somebody will go like, $200, this thing is a scam, you know. And for me, it saddens my heart, because it's only in Africa that we are so quick to call our knowledge merchants scammers. It's so sad. It's only in Africa that we're so quick to call our knowledge merchants scammers. If you want to know the temperature check of a society, check how they treat their thinkers. If you want to know the temperature check of a society, check how they treat their thinkers. Guys, how many thinkers do you know from Ghana? But how many musicians do you also know from Ghana? How many entertainers do you know from Ghana? You know a lot. How many entertainers do you know from Africa? You know a lot. Now let's switch it up. How many entertainers do you know from China? As opposed to their products, and the product is actually a reflection of their thinkers. And you know, I remember I read an article that says China is one of the countries that produces one of the largest number of millionaires every year. And I'm like, that's a country that's working towards something. So if you want to know the temperature check of a society, check how they treat their thinkers. Which entertainer do you know from China as against their products, and reflect it back on Africa, and you'll be able to appreciate what I'm talking about. So for lots of you, you do not just want to be rich, but when you move to the place where you choose to be rich, it comes into the most important thing. Are you ready to commit to be rich? So I said there are 3 levels of wanting. The first one is just basically, I want to be rich. Then I choose to be rich. Then I commit to be rich. This is the difference between the rich and the poor. The rich person is committed to his riches. He's committed to making wealth. The poor person just wants to be wealthy. This is the clear difference. So you have now come to a place where you want to commit. So it comes to the place that, okay, if I'm going to pay $200 to learn MBA's course on cryptocurrency, to understand and master this wealth transfer system that God has blessed today's generation with, then I will be ready to commit myself. So I pay that amount of money, I sit my bottom on the chair, and I make sure that I am learning and studying as much as possible. This is something that we do not actually pay enough attention to, and it's going to cost us so much. So you are listening to me as a young person. It's not enough to want. It's not enough to choose. Decide and stay from today that I commit to being rich. And you see, wealth creation is a long-term journey. It's a marathon. You're not doing a sprint. You're doing a marathon. So it's a commitment that you need to constantly give yourself on the daily, on the monthly, on the weekly, on the yearly, that you are taking gradual steps towards a particular financial goal and financial independence. And it is so important. You know, it is super important. And for me, I always say that financial independence is having access to financial resources, plus the time to be blessed by it and to use it for the things that God wants you to use it for. If you have money and you do not have time to spend it, life cheated you. What's the essence of making $1 million at the age of 75? How well are you going to impact your generation with that? So if you are young, which is the advantage that a lot of you would have, if you are young, make sure that you do not just want to be rich. Make sure that you choose to be rich. Most importantly, make sure that you commit to being rich, which is to say that be ready and be positioned to pay the price. Do not be like our parents who said that they were chasing money. They chased money and chased money and chased money and they never found it. Commit to being rich, and trust me, you will be rich, because when you are committed, it's going to walk you through a process. And superstars do not just emerge. Millionaires and billionaires do not just emerge. If you've listened to some of the stories of some of these great men, you will know that they have gone through process, but they chose to commit to be rich. And so irrespective of the obstacles, irrespective of the challenges, irrespective of the losses, they still chose to be rich, and they are still on that quest, and they are still on that path. This is what separates the rich from the poor. I want you, my dear listener, listening to me, I want you to choose to be rich from today. Decide and make a solemn vow to yourself that no matter your background, no matter where you are coming from, no matter the economy you find yourself in, you choose to be rich and you are committed to being rich. It is very, very important. I hope this content has blessed you. Like, subscribe, share. Share this with somebody that you want to make rich. Share this with somebody who has chosen to be rich but does not know that they need to commit to be rich. And I know that by means of doing this, you will be an extension of what we do here, leaving our fellow man better than we found them. My name is Moses B. Yatta. Like I always say, guys, love and light. Cheers.